On Daf 73 of Eruvin, we have the question that we need to understand where somebody's home base is for Shabbat, to understand how far they can go from that place, to understand where the Eruv is, to understand how we kind of configure everything around them. But where do we decide the home base from? Is the home base the place where you sleep, or is it the place that you eat? Now, for most of us, this is the exact same place, so it's not a question. But we're looking at all these scenarios where it might not be that case. Say you're a watchman out in the field, you're guarding a vineyard, and you have to stay out there for Shabbat, you have to sleep out there, but you're able to come in for meals. Well, what is it? Is the place the vineyard, or is it where you actually come in and eat? Same too, you have a bunch of people who they says, a bunch of sons that they have their own homes, but they all go to their father's table to eat. Where's their place? Or gave the examples that we don't follow anymore, but where somebody had multiple wives and they each kind of had their own home, but there was sort of one table. What do we determine as a person's main place? And we seem to have both opinions going on in the Gemara. With the one opinion says for the watchman, it's like, yeah, he might come into the city to eat, but he says, but really that's only because he's got no food out there. But if people brought him food out to the field, really that would be much better for him. Therefore, that should be his place. So we have this whole debate going back and forth, and to me, without even getting into the different opinions and everything, it's just an interesting aspect. These are really the two things that we use as anchoring points. What really makes something a home? It's like we sleep there and we eat there. And when the two are separate, there's kind of all discussion. The person's not quite as grounded in a single location anymore. And how do we understand, like, if you're to eat one place and sleep in another place, where are you really grounded? Where is your primary place supposed to be? Let me ask you, like, if you're to eat in one place and sleep somewhere else, where do you feel most connected to? I know for myself, when I think of sleeping in one place, eating somewhere else, it's usually when I'd go visit somebody for Shabbat. They wouldn't have a place for me to sleep in their house, so they'd ask me to like sleep at a neighbor's or somewhere. But it wasn't the place I was sleeping, it was the place I would go to eat, to be with the people who are those are really my main hosts. Those are the people I'd really connect to. The same really felt like the eating, that really feels much more like my place for Shabbat. In my opinion, even though most opinions seem to say that no, sleeping is really the primary indicator for the purposes of Eruvin.